Cowboys. Wentz missed the final 3 weeks on the playoffs due to a back injury. He has yet to play in the preseason, and he's not expected to play tonight against the Ravens. Wentz said regardless of whether he plays tonight or not, he will be ready to go week 1. So, Shannon, how concerned are you that Wentz won't play any snaps before week 1?
I'm not really concerned because, Skip, I think the risk of picking up a unwarranted injury outweighs being off a little bit. And for me, I know, and I think the thing is that they've seen their backups go down, Skip, and they see the injury history with Carson over the last 2 years, and maybe they're like, why risk it? Yes, you would like to see. For me, Skip, I was a guy, I wanted to get rhythm because I wanted to have my adrenaline flowing and what it was going to be like to breathe and run routes and have people banging on me in a crowd of 80,000 people screaming and yelling. That's different. People are like, well, you know, they're getting practice. Practice is different than a game.
Totally agree.
So I wanted that. Some guys like, nah, I'm good. I just want to roll out. I couldn't imagine, Skip, playing my last game in January and not playing in meaningful football again until the following September. I just found it would be hard for me. But for Carson Wentz, Skip, I think, yeah, will he be a little rusty because he got D-Jack, you know, drafted a receiver very high out of Stanford. So I think he would like to have some timing in a meaningful game in the preseason.
Yep.
But the risk of injury, given his history, and knowing that your backups have gone down, Skip, there is no Nick Foles now. You just signed a guy that had a job similar to you and ours, Skip, a week ago.
Yeah.
And you just signed him. He was wearing a shirt and tie one day, and the next day he got a pair of cleats and shoulder pads.
Yep.
So I just think they're being overly cautious. But I tell you this, I just believe if this kid could get past this year, Skip, with no injuries, I believe he will have turned the corner. It's just right now, early in his career, he just can't get past that injury bug. And I know what it was like because early in my career, I dealt with ankle and knee problems. But once I got past it, it was smooth sailing from there on.
So I think I just heard the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp say out of one side of his mouth, well, he really has no concerns. But out of the other side, he said he has grave concerns because he needs to play some preseason.
I would like to see him play, but I think the Eagles are looking at it, Skip. We would rather have him a little rusty, where his timing is off just a tad, as opposed to run the unnecessary risk, considering they've seen their previous 2 backups go down with an injury.
I am sorry to report this across the table to you, but this is yet another bad sign for limpet to him Wentz, or as I call him, Carson Wentz, as W-I-N-C-E, because every time I think about his injury history, I wince.
He gonna make you and them Cowboys eat those words.
Like last year he did twice.
No, the year before. The year before.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't have anybody left. I'm going to say this one more time, and I will be right about this. No player in the National Football League has more pressure going into this season on him than your still young, fairly inexperienced quarterback has on him. And now, inconceivably, he will play no preseason snaps with several new components on offense, especially that deep threat receiver of his. So to your point, there's nothing like live game action, especially, I mean, even if it's just preseason, but you can camp practice all you want against the Ravens. There's just a level of intensity.
It is.
There's a level of bright lights, screaming people that takes it somewhere else.
And Skip, when you scrimmage against another team, you've already been briefed. We're not putting anybody on the ground. We're not going to do anything crazy. But you know, come game time, there are no red jerseys.
Yeah.
Everybody is fair game. There's no off limits.
Ask Kyler Murray, who we're about to talk about next.
We are.
Right? So now your young quarterback that you love is going into his fourth
season.
Yep.
Same as that, yes.
With the most guaranteed money paid to him of any player in the National Football League. And yet his game experience has gone down from, he did last 16 games as a rookie, and he was not very good as a rookie, and then it fell to 13 games, and he had one great stretch as a second-year player, and then it fell to 11 games. So it goes 16, 13, 11. The Cowboy teams I covered back in the 1980s had a name for a player like Carson Wentz. They called him the Eggman. The Eggman as in fragile, as in he's played no preseason snaps because he will snap like a twig if you hit him.
Oh, he missed the glass, huh?
Mr. Glass. There you go. And Carson Wentz, I'm reading in the camp practices and even the scrimmages against the Ravens, is trying to run less and less because he just can't risk running.
Right.
When running was a key component of what made Carson Wentz so good for that stretch in his second year.
Evolution. We are evolving.
Really?
Yeah.
So now deer in headlights, Carson Wentz is going to be stuck in the pocket trying to speed read when he's not really a speed reader. He's got weapons everywhere. He's got expectations higher, loftier than the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. Am I right?
Yep.
Because you think this team's got a shot.
Yes, they're loaded.
Yeah,
they are loaded.
Possibly Shannon's Super Bowl pick?
It might be.
Possibly. It could be.
I know they're going to win in the East.
And yet, all of a sudden, your guy, walk it to him, as you call him, Wentz, goes into this season with no more safety net because he got saved by the safety net known as the Magic Man, Nick Foles, both of the last 2 years, which means that your guy, Carson Wentz, has played also 0 playoff snaps. 0. He makes $108 guaranteed million, the most in the NFL, with 0 playoff experience and fairly limited regular season experience.
That changes this year.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Really? Because now he's played in a grand total of 40 games. My guy Dak, who's also going in his 4th year, has played 51 games to your guy's 40. Yeah. That's 11 more games of experience. That's pretty significant to me.
My guy still got many touchdowns to your guy.
Really?
Yeah, with all them.
Huh.
Because he ain't dinking and dacking. My guy throwing down, getting big plays, big plays.
My guy is 33-18 as a starter. Your guy's 23-17. So the losses are pretty close. But, man, my guy's won 11 more games than your guy because my guy just wins. That's all he does.
Well, we'll find out this year who wins the most games.
And by the way, there was a story back somewhere during the offseason.
There you go, bringing up old stuff.
Yeah, headline, sources inside Eagles paint Carson Wentz as selfish, uncompromising, and playing favorites. This story went on to say that he refused when he got back into the lineup to run any, what he called Foles stuff, because he resented the hell out of the fact that Nick Foles was beloved in the locker room to the point they built a shrine to him in the locker room. Who was Chris Long,
did it. Right? Yes, but he just the other day, did you see this? Came out and said he is a great leader and a first-class human being.
Wait, who said that?
Chris Long, just the other day, came out and said, I don't know what that article was about.
We don't know what it's about.
A good leader. He said it was BS.
No, you don't have to.
Well, he's retired.
He's retired, but he said the article was BS.
Okay.
For reference, he did come out and clarify that.
Well, but the point was he loved him some Nick Foles.
He did.
His team loved Nick Foles, who took them on 2 magic carpet rides in 2 straight postseasons. Not just one. It wasn't fluke number 1. It was 2 quote-unquote flukes because he beat Atlanta, he beat Jenny's Vikings, and he somehow overcame Belichick's Patriots. He hung 40 on them. And then what did he do?
Outgunned Tom Brady.
Guess what? Then last year he goes to Chicago, wins, and he was on his way to winning at New Orleans until Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz's favorite target, dropped a pass that hit him right in the hands. So we might be having a very different conversation right now. But Nick Foles is a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Let me tell you about the conversation. Now, Earl Thomas played for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
And the Baltimore Ravens are scrimmaging the Philadelphia Eagles. Yep. And this is what Earl Thomas. Now, Earl Thomas is, I believe, the best free safety in football.
Yep.
This is what he said about one, walk it to him, Carson Wentz. I would tell you, in this league, there's a small pool of guys that you would classify at an elite level. And I think he's definitely in that pool. Now, I don't know how many skills.
I'm so happy he said that because the expectations go way beyond, go 2 Liberty Bells high. Yeah. Good. Love it. Bring it on.
When you trade,
gotta see it.
When you trade what the Eagles traded to get this young man, the expectations were always going to be there. That's what made John Elway so unbelievable. Considering what the Broncos gave up to get him, it was always going to be pressure. And he always met those expectations. I expect nothing less than this young man to meet and exceed those expectations this year. You're going to be very disappointed that you kept calling him limping to him and W-I-N-C. You're going to be disappointed, Skip.
You like that? W-I-N-C?
No, I don't like it.
It's funny.
It's walking to him.
Like it. Your guy had better live up, because I will predict right here, right now, I have covered many games that the Eagles played in the city of brotherly love or shove. Sometimes it's a city of brotherly shove when it gets to the Eagles games. They are quick to boo. I think they are the quickest to boo in all of pro football, all of pro sports. So the first home interception that he throws, and there will be one of those, you just know some people are going to sit back in the stands and say, would Nick Foles have thrown that interception? We had Nick Foles. He was the Super Bowl MVP. And now we're stuck with limp it to him?
Oh, they're stuck, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's where you're heading with this.
Well, I'll tell you what, that article said that walking to him was selfish. Stephen Jones said Dak's selfish. He won't give us a discount. Ain't that what he said? That was Stephen said. I'm just going by what Stephen said. Did Stephen say that?
Dak Prescott just might be the best leader in the NFC, because we know that guy in Foxborough is the best leader in the NFC.
So we just go disregard Drew Brees now. Drew Brees doesn't even matter anymore.
Pretty good, but Dak Prescott.
What about Russell? Russell Wilson.
Prescott he is a force in my locker room. Nobody has ever questioned his leadership the way Carson Wentz's has been questioned.
Have they ever questioned Russell Wilson?
Nope. No. Well, yeah, no, wait a second. What am I saying? Yes, they have. They think he's the pet of Pete Carroll. Am I right?
That didn't have anything to do with it.
It's not about leadership. That was not the locker room split over, are we with or against Russell Wilson?
Well, they turned the
teacher's pet?
And even with all that, it's still flying.
What's that?
I say, even with all that, when the locker room was split and it seemed the defense was against the offense, Russell Wilson kept his head high and still was the living player.
He's high class, high quality, and yet, boy, he rode the coattails of the Legion of Boom.
Oh, my goodness. There you go. See,
am I right?
No.
Has Dak Prescott ever had the Legion of Boom?
No, he got
Maybe
Zeke.
One day
he got Zeke.
Yeah.
What about last year? So that defense was terrible last year, huh?
Boy, it was in the playoff game.
Oh, you...
Was it not here? Got run off the field, gave up 230 yards rush.
You know what?
You calling that Legion of Boom?
I can't with
That's
you.
Legion of Doom.
We're going to switch gears, guys. Kyler Murray doesn't think his 3-for-8 performance against the Raiders last week is anything to be concerned about. The rookie QB attributed the lackluster performance to it being the preseason. And after the game, Hard Knocks cameras caught Kyler asking Antonio Brown why the Raiders had to blitz him so much. Earlier this week, Cliff Kingsbury said that he's intentionally keeping his play calling close to the vest in the